Hey, hello everyone. I wanted to stop and talk to you a little bit today about something, and it's really a talk about integrity. Um, and to do this is going to take maybe about 5 minutes to tell my story. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because I believe that each of us should always be searching for the truth, and we should be loving the truth. And so, um, we should be like those that in the Bible, like the Bereans, that they heard something and they just didn't uh, take Paul's word for it. They began to search to find out what is true. So as a result, I'm telling the story uh, of what I've been doing the past summer and what I've found out. And what you do with this information then will be your own choice, because I'm just going to give you information without any recommendation. However, I do believe that out of integrity and honesty, that it's important for you to hear what I'm going to share with you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here as soon as I get this up here. And I'm going to take you through okay, let me bring this up and play. Okay, as we know, technology is always advancing and always developing. And I've often used this illustration about how man, that longed to fly, and then the Wright brothers who came along right after 1900. And then the first commercial flight, which, like, look at that commercial flight. How's that ever going to affect anything? Well, transatlantic, and now next week, my wife and I will be flying to Mexico, and it's really nothing extra special. That's how what was impossible before has become standard in our society now. So we want to, we're constantly, I think, as human beings and part of the made in the image of God, pushing the limits of being creative and discovering what this creation is all about. And a little bit of my story is I've been a business owner for 20 years, more than 20 years. About 20 years ago, developed the very first portable downspout machine. And as a result, we now export to more than 30 countries. And why is that? It's because we developed the technology, we were leading something. And what we do is we constantly revisit that, because technology continues to advance, and we add features, we add extra things so that we are always ahead in whatever we're doing. And so I've been a pastor, I'm in China a lot, I've been to China like 48 times, studying Mandarin, etc. But what happened about 5 years ago after mammogram, we had a crisis in our family, and we watched an ABC primetime investigative report, which introduced to us a Dr. Joe McCord and a development that he was involved with. And you can see the video, the primetime investigation, at lifeactivators.net. But that began us on a search, and my wife's health now, as a result, the problem and she didn't go through chemo, she didn't go through radiation. We chose a different path, but she's totally clear. And I have people calling me in our area say, hey, I hear that you have something that they say that cures cancer. I said, no, I have something that reduces oxidative stress, which is the root cause of hundreds of diseases. And so this has been a path of mine for a number of years now, and we've been helping a lot of people see this new technology called Nrf2. And so oxidative stress, many people don't know about it, but every medical doctor knows it's the root cause of hundreds of diseases affecting many different organs, every system that we have in our body. And it's really kind of an indicator of the aging process. If you can reduce that, the studies show that you can delay disease and the onset of a lot of age-related diseases. So that's the background. One of the studies done in 2011 was by a Brooks, Hybertson, Dr. Gao, Bose, and Dr. Joe McCord, who was on that original primetime investigative report. And they got together and they did a study showing on oxidative stress and Nrf2. And it was a very good study. I've been familiar with this study for several years now. So I got to respect the research. Actually, those 4 guys together have done over 300 published scientific studies, peer-reviewed studies, which is the highest level of study. So that's pretty interesting. And Dr. Joe McCord, he was awarded the Elliott Crescent Award, which was also awarded by Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wilbur Wright, for aviation, Tesla for the alternating current, the Curies for antibiotics, Henry Ford for the Industrial Revolution, and Dr. Joe McCord for free radical biology. So very well respected, been in this, studied this whole thing for more than 40 years. In fact, I think this year is his 50th year anniversary of when he first discovered superoxide dismutase, a super antioxidant in our body. And so the idea is constantly pushing technology forward. So I heard something this year that made me stop and think, because what I was told was that Dr. McCord and the team of these 4 scientists, where were they, had continued to do studies, because Dr. McCord is no longer with the company that now owns the technology, continued to look for better Nrf2 activation. Now, my first degree is chemistry, and so I'm like, is this really true? So this is what they, the information that they gave is that they tested liver cells and the Nrf2 activation, and they say that Protandim was at this level. You can see on this chart about, maybe it looks like to be about 7,000 compared to 100,000 in Genome-X. And then studies are being done by Harvard, and National Institute of Health, etc. Now, I'm a skeptic by nature. And so I have some equipment, and it's called, it's by Acres Bioscience, and it's called OxyCheck. So I did a comparison because there was 2 products that he had, and I wanted to tell you the result of this study, okay? Because I have some people on my team that I talked with them, and they said, well, I'm not taking Protandim anymore. I'm taking PB125, which you can buy online at Pathways Bioscience, and it's cheaper. So I said, we need to study this. Why? Because for me, I need to know the truth. I need to know that. It's a matter of integrity. So I took 8 people that had been on Protandim at least 1 year. And I began, and I measured their oxidative stress at the beginning, after 2 weeks, and after 4 weeks, using the Acres OxyCheck to measure their oxidative stress. After 2 weeks, okay, now we dropped the highest and the lowest, okay, after 2 weeks, there was an average of 12.29% increase in oxidative stress, and after 4 weeks, there was a 17.2%. Not only that, but we began to get anecdotal stories. One lady said, oh, my brain fog's back. Another fellow says, the back pain that I had that Protandim helped with, that's back. Another fellow says, my wife says that I'm walking around like an old man. It's just because my joints hurt again. And we were getting a lot of anecdotal evidence as well. And so I was so glad that I did this, because I'm not knocking PB125. It probably does amazing things. But for these 8 people that had been on Protandim at least a year, again, when you go on Protandim for a year, it's not just a 40% reduction. Many people tell me it's nearly a 70% reduction in oxidative stress. Again, I only measure oxidative stress. This is not a peer-reviewed study, but it's just a matter of me for integrity to find out exactly how does this compare with people. So again, not a complete test, but I needed to personally know what was going on. And you can see some of the results posted. That's what the Acres BioCheck does there. So then there was another product that Dr. McCord had that he said was the absolute best, 10 times more Nrf2 activation. And I'm like, okay, well, this will be interesting. If they say it's so good, then I'm going to give it a tough test. So most of the people that I knew, they didn't want to be a part of any more tests with this the newfangled stuff. Why? Because they didn't want their aches and pains back and that type of thing, their brain fog. So I only found my wife and myself who had been on 2 Protandim a day. The reason being is we had found that certain people did better on 2 Protandim, activating Nrf2 in the morning and then activating it again in the evening. And my wife's blood tests, once we began to do 2, the levels that they look for in her test, on her yearly test, so that concerning her first problem, when she began to take 2, those dropped below any danger zone at all. So we kept it at 2, and I took 2 as well. This is my wife's and I's results. From 2 Protandim, measuring oxidative stress at the beginning and at 2 weeks and 4 weeks, these are our results. There's an 8.2% decrease using 1 GNM-X in 2 weeks, a 0.1% decrease, and in 4 weeks, there is a almost 13% decrease in oxidative stress. So this shows me is that it looks like GNM-X has a very, very powerful effect with oxidative stress. Now, they say that it affects a lot more genes, that it affects 2,000 genes compared to a couple hundred genes. Now, I just wanted to give you the results of that study because research is always advancing, and there's been a lot of study about Nrf2 and what all it does. So I want you to have this information. GNM-X is not available yet in the US. I had to get it out of Mexico for the test. But I want you to have a heads up on this. If you want more information on what we're continuing to do and continuing to see, feel free to contact me. Again, I just wanted to make sure that you had the information, that you could decide what you want to do with this information and go from there. So, hey, God bless you. And I just want to say this is that we never need to be afraid of the truth. I talked with some people when this first came out, and I said, so what are you going to do? They said, I'm going to tell people, unfriend Dr. McCord. I said, don't you think we should check it out and find out what really the truth is? Now, I just wanted you to know what I found out. I know in my own self now the results of this. I know that, I have seen hundreds and hundreds of people affected in a positive way with Protandim. Now, there are some people that are allergic to some of the products. My dad can't take this because of an allergy. Well, he's interested in something else that might be available in the future, okay? So I'm just letting you know about that. Feel free to do with that what you want. Feel free to contact me if you want some more information. God bless you, and I love you. And it's because I love you and because I know that you love the truth, I was giving you this information. Take care, and God bless.